What is up, guys? I'm KBHD here, and welcome to your first look and hands-on of the freshly revealed iPhones for 2018 and 2019. It's now all finally revealed, or more like confirmed of what the leaks told us we were going to get, but it's really nice to actually have the things in person, or officially official. So we got the iPhone XS, the XS Max, and the iPhone XR. And so this video is just going to be all about the iPhone XS and XS Max, and we're going to do a separate video diving into the XR, because I think it's actually worth another look. Until then, this is everything you need to know about those two phones. So, okay, iPhone XS has the same 5.8-inch display, slightly tweaked, but same size as before. And the XS Max has a gigantic 6.5-inch display. It is a huge phone, but yet it's in the footprint that's roughly the same size as something like the Galaxy Note 9, thanks to the bezels being so thin. So two very different sized phones here. And then the new colors were confirmed as well. So same exact silver as the iPhone X last year, same exact space gray as last year, but then the new color for the S is this gold. So it looks pretty classy, I guess. I personally probably wouldn't get it, but there is only one way to tell on the outside that you have the new iPhone, and that's by getting the gold one. So you do you. And it's going to be shiny and fingerprinty either way. So basically, the XS is just the same size as the current iPhone X, but it's a classic Apple S update like we've seen in the iPhone before. It's a spec bump, some internal changes, but nothing drastic, and no new design. So the biggest spec difference that you're getting here is it's rocking the new A12 Bionic chip. It's the first 7nm chip versus the 10nm process from last year. It has nearly 7 billion transistors. All of this basically translates to it'll be a bit faster. You know, they dropped a couple quotes like it'll be maybe 30% faster, but you'll notice it in things like launching apps and opening and closing the keyboard and transition animations and things like that. But basically, that's definitely something we're going to have to test and see for the full review. Basically, what I can be sure of is it will be even faster. Same amount of RAM, though, as far as we can tell. And then I think the other big internal upgrade for this phone is the camera. So the XS and XS Max both have the same new cameras, so a pair of 12-megapixel optically stabilized cameras, the primary one being f1.8, and you get a telephoto as well. And they're combining these new cameras and lenses with new image signal processing on the A12 Bionic chip to take some seriously impressive photos. Now, obviously the photos and stuff they show on stage are always going to be awesome, but the newness is in this image processing. We all know image processing means a lot when it comes to smartphone photography and getting good images off these smartphone cameras. Like, that's a major reason why the Pixel 2 has been so good. So they introduced big improvements there. There's improved HDR called Smart HDR. There's better low light sensitivity, less noise, and a really impressive portrait mode. Now, in portrait mode, you can go in and edit portrait photos to literally change the f-stop of the simulated bokeh. And it's really good looking. You can see the little lights in the background of the photos changing their blur level. And it's not just getting more or less blurry like straight up. There actually seems to be like a directional blur based on how far it is from the middle of the center of the subject. I was really impressed with it, and I can't wait to play with that more. And then there's a bunch of other smaller stuff. So there's technically a new front-facing camera, still 7 megapixels, but selfies will also benefit from this new portrait mode. And I'm curious, since it's software-based, if it will work with a software update to this year's iPhone X too, because they even worked with the iPhone XR, which only has one lens. Anyway, I'm really into that. And then it's also now IP68 water resistant. Believe it or not, last year's phone was IP67, so we're looking at better waterproofing. You can literally wash your phone off with water if you want to. The speakers are now louder and better. In an impressive way from what I've heard, they do a much better job with stereo audio separation and things like moving back and forth across the screen. And there's now dual SIM support. And then Face ID is supposed to get slightly faster thanks to the A12 Bionic, but probably not drastically. And there's also now a slightly longer battery life, literally 30 minutes longer on the XS and 90 minutes longer on the XS Max. I got to find out the capacities. Don't really know those yet, but they're not drastically bigger. But hey, better is better. I'll take that. And then last but not least, the new prices. It's going to start again at $999 for the XS and $1099 for the XS Max. So that got a lot of us thinking, like, is that enough of a change? Is this a big enough upgrade for some people? Honestly, it's not a most buy for the most people, especially if you have an iPhone X. I think the biggest difference you're going to get is if you go with the bigger phone, the XS Max, but that thing's going to be expensive. The 512 gig is going to be $1449. Like, that's the world we live in now. But if you already have an iPhone X, this isn't some huge must-have upgrade. It's the classic S upgrade Apple does with the iPhone, and I got no problem with that. Between the smaller and larger, I'm definitely more into the larger phone. That's just me. But still, no design changes, same camera bulge on the back, same stainless steel and glass materials all around. The notch didn't get smaller or anything. The bezels didn't shrink, although the notch might feel a little bit smaller on the bigger phone. No 120 hertz display, no Apple Pencil support. It's just a refined upgrade and a new color. We'll have to see if it's worthy or not pretty soon as we work towards the full review. But my gut feeling, honestly, is I'm thinking that iPhone XR might be the real hit this year for Apple. It's a bit different. Like I said, I have a whole video on that in the works right now. That's right, 2 videos in one day, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I'll link to it when it's live. Until then, this has been the iPhone XS and XS Max. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.